your site, now what? How to follow up. We're hashtagging it with direct sales, hashtag MLM, and hashtag BizTips. So let us know. Think about that. What brought you to tonight's blab? What made you say, out of all the blabs available, I'm going to choose this one? Why is it that you feel you need it? Is there something that you can tell us in advance that we can learn about you so that we can curtail the session just a little bit and make it fit just for you? On the sidebar, we're going to just keep reading comments. And I see Miss Benjamin, and is it Miss Boomy Benjamin, right? I like Miss Benjamin. I like the way that sounds. You're responding and you're saying what area are you in? So you're responding to someone else.
Area of
Destin that's asking. Okay.
Like where we are.
West Palm Beach. That sounds great.
I know, right? Oh, together. Okay, got it. Because they're both in Florida.
And just so you guys know where we are, I'm not sure if you guys have caught any of our sessions before, but I'm in New York City. I live and work primarily in Manhattan, and my twin sister, Dejan, is based in Savannah, Georgia. Our mom, who's going to join us really soon, is based in the Washington, D.C. area out of Northern Virginia. And just to tell you a little bit about ourselves before she gets in, we will reintroduce ourselves. We are professionals, and we like to say that we have our hands in many pots, and many entrepreneurs can relate to that. We are business owners, we're artists, educators, and bloggers. We run a site, and you can find us online all the time with new content daily at asideofchange.com. And as we talk tonight, we'll make sure that we are posting that up for you to see. So, Dejan, Mom is right now telling us that she is definitely trying to get on. She can hear us, but for some reason she is not able to see us. Thanks so much for the props. For those of you that are new, we were actually out on Periscope earlier and asking people to make sure that they joined us and saying that there was no fear if it was their first time on Scope, or I'm sorry, on Blab. If this is your first time, give us those props. Those are those hands that you see. Thanks so much. You're seeing somebody test it out right now. Side note, we do have a friend here on Blab and on Scope, and he does such an amazing job of evening us out. By the end of the night, he engages with us, and he likes to make sure that we end the night with the same amount of props. So not telling you have to do it, but it's something funny that just started happening with us. And we typically end our scopes and we'll have the same amount of props. And that's thanks to some special people that want to make it even.
Definitely.
If you don't know, we're twins, and that's usually unimportant to us, but it's kind of funny when it happens.
I want to just touch really quick on Mom since she can hear us. So Mom, the seat is open. All you have to do is just click it. You may be trying that already. Maybe it's just not connecting, but the seat is definitely open. I see your face just popped up on here. So you're in the room. So yeah.
I think she's texting saying
here she is.
There might be problems with her mic. Oh, here we go. Okay.
So hopefully
let's see if we can hear her. You guys remember Isaac Mizrahi's show when he used to say, "Let's clap for her"? That was what he would always do for his guests. Does anybody remember that show? So I kind of feel like we should be clapping for her right now as she comes on.
Yes. Okay. Hey, you're on.
Am I on?
Good.
Great.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. It's new.
I have to clap too. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but all right. So you guys, we're on. She is our mother. She definitely is our mother.
Yes.
Miss Boomy, yes. She's not your mother. So, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, wow, thanks.
So why don't, since she's on, am I hearing some weird feedback? Does somebody have their phone on still? Connected? Anyone?
Maybe your headphones?
Yeah, I'm hearing some weird feedback.
Take your headphones on.
If it's only me.
I don't hear anything.
I heard it.
Okay, cool.
You did?
It's still there.
Right, so Latoya is letting us know. This is the funny thing. Being in a beta stage allows people like us to test things out and work out the kinks.
Yeah.
Latoya is saying that we might have too many people on. I think we're going to roll with it. Earbuds work best if you're on a laptop or so. Yeah, I'm on my laptop right now.
Me too.
We're just going to roll with this. Let me know from everyone who's watching us. If things sound fine on your end, I'm going to roll with it. And for Dejan and Mom, if things sound good for you, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I hear a slight echo. So I don't know who that is. Somebody's saying, Mom, grab your headset or earbuds. So I don't know. We've never had the echo problem before.
Do you have some near you? Okay, she's saying it's coming from your mom. Because that makes sense, right? It wasn't happening before she got on.
Actually,
let's see.
It might be me.
It may be you because
I'm talking and I hear it. And it could be that I have. Honestly,
I don't think so.
You don't think it's me? Okay. This is my first time using Cam Twist with this format. So, Mom, say something.
What did that do?
That eliminated it.
Are you sure? That did it? Okay,
Yep.
Great. Perfect.
We're good to go. Thank you so much. Listen, since the very beginning, we've been saying that this community is an amazing group of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I can't hear.
People who
can you hear me? Nod your head if you can hear me.
No, we can hear you.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us with the headphones on?
Put your headphones on.
Put your headphones on.
Wow.
I look like an airline stewardess, correct?
Did you are.
Yeah. I love the laughs on the side. This is really us in real life, guys. Okay, now plug it in.
I did. Can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Try taking them out. Unplug. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to refresh?
I'm going to refresh.
Okay.
Oh, and hashtag new platform problems. That's what we keep saying, right? Every time it's something different, but we'll all be pros. If we wanted jobs working for someone else, it might be that we could work in the technical department after this.
Maybe so.
And tech support, but let's see what happens. You guys, thanks for the support. When we get started, we're going to drive through this hard. We're going to drive through this fast as we need to and make up time.
Definitely.
And I figured that made sense since I was like on my airline stewardess thing.
You're going to drive through it fast. Yes.
Once we get in the air, we're going to keep going. We're going to make up time.
All right. She's trying to come back on.
I'm coming. I'm there. Yes, I can hear you. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I have no idea what happened. I'm back.
Good. We're good to go.
All right.
We are good. So you guys, I'm just going to jump right in and I am going to reintroduce ourselves. Dejan, you make sure that we're recording. We've been recording. So everybody got all of our mistakes and our bloopers and all of that. And we'll turn that into really good usable reel at one point. You guys are right now sitting with Team Transformation. And my name is Aria. This is my twin sister, Dejan, and our mom, Sonia. Okay. And I don't want to speak for them, but I'm going to take this opportunity just to introduce you to what we call Team Transformation. We're a mother-daughter team, and we kind of have our hands in a lot of pots, right? It's something that a lot of entrepreneurs and women, for that matter, can relate to. So by trade and by profession, we have built our lives around these three fields of education for myself, my sister as an artist, and our mom as a long-term successful business owner. I built my career as an educator and as a school leader in New York City, right? Hence the leather jacket, right? This is what I bring to the table. Dejan,
exactly,
right? Dejan is a very established, well-accomplished set designer for film and television, and she's worked on 1,000,001 movies. I don't want to run down the list, and TV shows that you're very familiar with. And our mom owns and runs to this day a very successful staffing firm outside of the DC area. But together, what we say is that we make up this huge assortment or pot of entrepreneurial skills that we are all invested in taking to the next level. We've been involved and operating and owning and running a few different companies, working together, leaning on each other. And we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to really take what we have learned and what we feel we've perfected and this trio that you see here, and we want to really take that to the masses. So what we did is we created a blog called asideofchange.com, and every Tuesday and every Thursday, we're bringing you this show called Hack Your Hustle. And we want to help you do exactly what we've done. And it doesn't mean you have to do it like we've done it. And it doesn't mean that you have to be in the arenas that we're working in. What it means is that you have a hustle just like we do. And we want to teach you how to hack it, especially if the place you're trying to drive your business is online. So tonight specifically, the title, it says everything, but I'm going to read it out loud again. So you've gotten people to your site. Now what? Right? How to follow up. And we're talking to people who are in direct sales, MLMers, right? People who are in multi-level marketing. I need to break that down. Someone told me that once. Everyone doesn't know when we say MLM what that means. And just awesome biz tips. So if you're driving business to this online space, we want to tell you what you need to do to follow up with the people who are landing on your site, really engage with some of the content. And more specifically, if you're one of those people who are asking people to leave you information like their email address, their phone number, their age, all types of things, we want to make sure that you have a way to follow up with those people. And we want to make sure that you know how to follow up with them, not just once, but 2 times, not just 2 times, but 3, but 4, but 5, but 6, right? If you're an entrepreneur, if you're somebody who's in direct sales, you know exactly what I mean. Sometimes it's that 6th or 7th follow-up that really closes the deal. So we want to teach you how to do that in an automated way that's not going to take time away from you, but really teach you how to strategically add value and like pack that punch every single time you reach out to people. How to lift your name as an authority in their mind. And hey, here's the best thing that could happen. People start checking their inbox because they're looking for your content, right? Not only do they happen to open it and see that it's interesting and valuable, but they look for it. So we want to teach you how to do those things in a way that makes sense and has worked for all of us. And then as we close, what we want to do is open up this additional seat that you see. What we call that is our hot seat. So as many people as we can get into this hot seat, we will. If you're courageous, there's no judgment. We are a warm, friendly community. It's safe.
Definitely.
So that's what I say every single time we want to open up that spot. So Dejan, do you have anything to say? Mom, do you have anything to say before we jump right in and start giving out some of our strategy tips?
I think you covered it. So that was a great introduction. Thank you. I'm glad everybody's here. And the way that we know this format usually works, we see that people kind of jump on kind of, midway through. So, the room may be really full by the time we end this blab, and just know that it's recorded so you can go back and touch on all these points. So other than that, I think we're good.
I agree. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're good. You covered it well.
All right. So let me start by giving you guys an example. And those of you who are used to watching us live, you know that I am full of examples. And what I say is make it plain, right? We need to be able to make it plain because we're moving from this traditional space of talking to people in person, conference style. Maybe you've invited them out to a business presentation, if that's your style. And you've decided, there's one of me, right? You've finally reached that place where you say there's one of me. And there's only 24 hours in a day, right? And those are limitations that we can do nothing about. At least in 2015, we have no way to duplicate ourselves and no way to expand the hours that are in a day. So what do we do with that limitation when we want to grow our business? Well, we take it online. And I think that everybody that's in this space with us now knows that that is the place that they have to move to in order to make money, drive business, and engage with people literally while they sleep. So what I want to do is use this example that I think we can all relate to and at least paint a picture in our minds if I use this. And just so you know that when we're finished, you can go to our blog, asideofchange.com, and kind of get the recap because we did a blog article that really speaks to everything we're going to share tonight. And this example is on that blog post. So imagine this. Imagine that you're a real estate agent and you live, let's use my city. Let's say you live in New York City. You do most of your business in Manhattan. And you know that it's your job to plant seeds everywhere you go. And if any of you can relate, you know that you've met real estate agents, whether they've been at people's Christmas parties, you may have been at a family function and they said, hey, I invited my neighbor or I invited a long distant cousin. If they're a real estate agent, you know it by the time they leave. Am I right or wrong?
Right. Totally.
It's true.
Right. So they plant seeds and they know the value. They say, hey, I know that everybody has a roof over their home. either they're in a home right now and they're going to be looking for their next best. They're looking to build a dream home. They're looking to move to a different state. They're looking, or they're like renting right now and they want to buy their first home. And so they know that they're planting seeds all over. They don't know when they're actually going to sprout, right? But they're planting seeds, and they don't know if they're planting them on fertile ground or dry ground, right? But they're planting them. They're leaving their seeds everywhere. Real estate agents have a knack for leaving their business cards with you, right? Saying, hey, if you're ever in the market, or hey, if you know anybody that's in the market, right? They get you at every angle, right? And so they believe in this concept of planting seeds. Well, let's imagine that you're this real estate agent and someone reaches out to you, right? And they say, hey, I'm kind of just like entertaining the idea. I think that maybe in the next year, 2 years, I'm going to start being interested in actually making a purchase. Well, that agent is not going to lose you by saying, you know what, why don't you just call me when you're ready? Click. They don't do that, right? They want to get you connected with them. They want to say, well, you know, it wouldn't probably hurt to look. Why don't we schedule a meeting so we can drive around and look at homes? Or, you know what, I have a site and I want you to check it out because I have some things on there that might get you in that home sooner than 2 years from now. I don't know why you're delaying your dreams so far, right? And so there's a lot of things that agent is going to say to someone. And let me know if you're following this example. You can give me props by hitting that hand signal, because I want to make sure I'm not losing anybody, right? I can get long-winded, so check me if you need to. Thanks. So if you're that agent, you've decided not to leave that person that called you and said that they're looking for something in the distance, right, or far in the future. You're going to actually capture them somehow. You're going to make sure that there's a connection. If you are trying to do business online and you're following this model, you want to make sure that anybody that reaches out to you, anybody that finds your service, anybody that finds your product, anybody that finds your business, you want to make sure that you are able to capture them and you're able to say, great, I'm glad we connected. Now, how can we stay in touch, right? That's what that real estate agent is always going to do. If we're using that person that we can picture that we've all met before as an example, they're not going to let you go, right? Because they don't want you to go to somebody else. What they know is that if you're not ready now, you will be ready later. And they don't want you to go to anybody else, so they have to be fresh in your mind, right? And so we want to talk about how to mimic that experience online. And we're going to get into that in just 1 second. How do you mimic that exact same experience online? But first, Dejan, you were doing this, and that's sometimes our signal that we want to say something. So,
yes. I just want to get a quick pulse of the room, you know, to find out, you know, we'd like to address your needs specifically if we can. So if you give us a little bit of information about, you know, what your situation is. Are you currently marketing online? Is online marketing completely new to you? Are you doing something new in your business? Or is the concept of actually reaching out to people through autoresponders and engaging them after they visit your website, is that a completely new concept? So if not, it's fine. If it is, that's fine also. So it'll just allow us to speak to your situation a little bit better.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and we'll pace ourselves accordingly, right? Depending on who's in the room. So, you know, let us know. And so back to this idea of how to mimic this experience of holding on to people. If we were to, you know, use an old school model, again, I'm going to use something very basic so we can visualize it. An old school model might mean that you know that people in your neighborhood are expressing interest in moving or buying new homes. You know, maybe you're going to say, well, you know, they may not be ready now, but I want to make sure that I'm fresh in their mind. So I'm going to go and I'm going to, if anybody remembers doing anything like this, I'm going to drive and I'm going to put a little flyer in every single mailbox, right? I'm going to put my business cards and my flyers up at local coffee shops. I'm going to do things to make sure that I'm relevant and people are still thinking about me. I'm going to make sure that my closest friends and my family and my network knows that I'm the real estate agent to go see. So if they know anybody, they can then pass my name along. I'm going to make sure that they have a couple extra business cards in their wallet. So if they meet somebody on the spot in the grocery store, somebody random, and they are at that intersection where they need to recommend a real estate agent, they're coming to me, right? And so how do we mimic this experience online? What we do is we have invested some time initially. Our planting seeds, right, don't happen in the flesh. They all happen online virtually. So we are planting seeds.
Honestly, maybe you want to address the on the foot action, because you meet a lot of people
I'll let you do that, right? And I'll do the online first, and then you address that one and how that might merge in, because there's people that, like you said, still are doing business in the flesh, and then they're leading people to something that's happening online.
Exactly.
And so you do that one, and then I'll talk really quick about what's happening when we're planting seeds online. We've invested some time in learning how to really utilize search engine optimization. That's something we're not going to dig into deep on this session, but we have in the past. And that's what we call SEO, right? We're understanding how Google Analytics is working, Yahoo, Bing, how search engine optimization really can lend itself, and how that really is our way of planting seeds. We are on the other end of the questions that people are putting into search engines, right? When people are typing in not even full statements or full questions or full sentences, they're just typing in keywords. I'll use a real estate agent as an example again. Real estate agents, Manhattan, $500,000 or less. Let's just say that. Or real estate agents, Manhattan, 2-bedroom condo. Let's just say that that's something somebody types in. Well, I'm the person on the other end, and I'm making sure that I'm the person that they see pop up on that first page of Google. I want to be one of the first people that shows up, because maybe I have actually built a business around Manhattan, right? My site is actually optimized in a way that allows it to connect with people who are typing in the keyword real estate agent, Manhattan, 2-bedroom. Maybe that's where I specialize, is in 2 bedrooms. And believe it or not, in Manhattan, that's a hard thing to find, right? For under 500,000, that's adding another layer to it. And so I've perfected that, and that's my way online of planting seeds, so that when people come around to look in these search engines, they are finding me. Does that make sense, Dejan?
That makes total sense.
That's right.
You wrapped that up right.
Okay. So why don't you talk about what that might look like, in the same way I said that it's planting seeds and they're going to click on me and then be led to my site. What does that look like for somebody who's working in person, who's still hoping to lead somebody back to their website?
I'm just going to, maybe we said a lot, so I'll just break it down just a little bit, because again, I'm not sure where people are coming from, and if people are watching the recorded version, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you're seasoned a little bit, but the whole idea is that you're in some type of business, like Aria said, and you want to get in front of people that have the problem that you're actually able to solve. So again, whether that's, through the real estate business, whether that is through, a service that you provide, maybe it's a pet grooming service, maybe it's a brick and mortar store, maybe you are part of a MLM, maybe you are selling skincare or a weight loss product, whatever it is, you are on the other end of somebody's problem because you have the solution, right? So you are doing many different ways. If you are here primarily because you're in the traditional MLM world, direct sales or social selling or whatever you want to call it, you're typically taught to, of course, reach out to family, to friends, to meet people, to invite them to different events, and get in front of people that way. So the whole idea of marketing online, just to break that down really quickly, is kind of upping your game like 20 notches, because not only are you now in the box of only inviting family and friends and people that you meet on the street, which is all good and well, but we know that that's just time consuming and the people run out and, you're kind of spinning your wheels. So when you're taking that marketing effort online instead of on the ground, you're actually sending people to a landing page or a website, and you're doing that through the methods that Aria just talked about, through SEOing and optimizing your content, which is your blog, your YouTube videos, your tweets, your images. You're optimizing or cataloging that information so that people can find you easier on the receiving end. Does that make sense?
Totally. Absolutely.
All right.
And, what we're going to get into in a second is.
Okay. I wasn't finished. I just want to bring it back. So sorry guys, we do this. Right. So for all the people that are trying to figure out, okay, so with that online effort, if you are optimizing your research, or let's just say you meet somebody in Starbucks, right? You start the traditional way. You're meeting somebody, you're having a great conversation, or you're meeting somebody at a party, or it is a family or a friend. No longer do you need to have to invite them necessarily to a brick and mortar event or to a gathering at your home. You can easily say, hey, go to my website. So with that instance, you haven't optimized anything. It's word of mouth. You've driven somebody to a site and given them maybe a card or something and said, hey, check this out. So once that person gets there, whether they've come from online traffic and you don't know them, or whether you've personally invited them to that site, you are basically saying hello. You're saying, hey, I see that you're here. Welcome to the space. And I really want to make sure that we maintain this contact. You definitely don't want them going to your site and then going back off, or going to your site, being really into it at 2 o'clock in the morning and then forgetting about it, after that. And you have no way of even keeping back in contact with them. So that's kind of what we're talking about today, is what to do with those people at that one point when they get on your website. What do you do with them? They've landed there. They love what they see, right? Maybe they're ready to buy, maybe they're not ready to buy, but they visited your site. And so now is the point where you really have to invest that time into capturing them. And so that's what we'll go into a little bit further, how you capture them, what that means, and how do you stay in contact with them. And we have a question.
Absolutely.
Rhea, if you want to filter the question.
So, yeah, definitely. The question, I'm going to read it out loud so everybody that's just listening. There are many ways.
There are many who?
There are many who do not have a website and use social media platforms like Facebook business pages as their presence. Oh, you're so good. We're going to get to that. So you're a little bit ahead of us, but we are definitely going to get there. So hold on to that question. We certainly won't forget. So awesome question. Thank you so much. So let's jump right in, right? Let's talk about this idea of getting people to our site, right? And then following up with them. There is something that I want to tell people. I don't know if anybody is a Joyce Meyer fan, right? I definitely am. And she says this thing all the time, but I think that it definitely applies to business, that what we need to do is drop our stinking thinking, right? She says that. Has anybody heard her say that before? Okay. All right. So she says, drop your stinking thinking. And in this way, what this means to me is that we are following up with our leads, right? We're following up. We're following up with our leads, and we are not afraid to do it, right? We're not telling ourselves that it's impolite to follow up with people. And, raise your hand, put something on the sidebar if this is something that you can relate to. But I know that I've been in that place where I'm like, oh, it's kind of irritating that I'm reaching back out. I mean, they told me to call at 7, but most people eat dinner at 7. Maybe I'll call tomorrow. Or, I've left 2 messages. It's kind of rude to call back. Maybe they're trying to just give me a way of, maybe they're letting me know they're too busy. That is what we would call stinking thinking, right? There is nothing wrong with pursuing your business. And that's a mind shift, right? If you are trying to follow up with somebody, what that means is that they've actually, who's done the initiating? If you're following up, who's done the initiating?
They have.
Right. And so that can never be impolite, right? But it's something that we tell ourselves often. When it comes to sending people follow-up emails, sometimes we'll tell ourselves silly things like, oh, this must be spam. Well, it's not spam, right? They have actually left us their email address indicating, I actually want to receive communication from you. So it's then your job as the site owner to take advantage of that and follow up with them and stay connected.
And these are ways for the person that doesn't, and maybe there's more people that don't have a site yet necessarily to capture these people. We'll definitely talk about that. And actually, you know what, Rhea, why don't we touch on that right now? Because I think it's just a really quick way in case anybody else has that problem.
Yeah, well, really quick, what I want to say before we switch is that following up with somebody, what that I can tell you means is that if they haven't unsubscribed from your list, if they've sent you their email address once, then that means that they're invested, right? They're saying, connect with me. You're sending them information, right? And what we want to do is make sure that you have a way to send them automated information. Before we start switching over to the pros and cons of using Facebook business page, I want to talk about this communication that we're talking about. We're talking about never being afraid to follow up, but I want to really take that to the next level because I'm not asking that you follow up once. Dejan and my mom and I don't believe in following up twice. We mean, how do you follow up with somebody 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 times? How do you stay connected with somebody? And how do you do that in a way that makes sense for you if you have 100 people to follow up with? Mm-hmm. What that means is you're not doing it manually. What that means is you're actually not trying to keep that in your brain. What that means is you're not writing it down on a calendar. What it means is you're relying on an automated system. Let us know if anybody here is familiar with something like Aweber. There's GetResponse. There's MailChimp. There are automated marketing systems that allow you to drive emails in a very strategic way that allow you to say, you know what, as soon as that person who's searching on my site and they leave me their email address at 2 a.m, I'm not up at 2 a.m. I'm not going to send them an email right away. And even if I was up, I probably don't have the time. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to write an email from scratch. I have a lot of people opting in, hopefully leaving me their email address at once. I'm going to set something up that's automated that says the first time somebody leaves me their email address, I'm going to welcome them to my site. I'm going to say, hey, I see that you signed up. And I'm going to craft a message that's automated.
Not only that,
right away.
No, I was just going to say, not only that, Aria, but as people leave you their information and they're opting in, they are actually giving you permission to contact them and to reach out to them. So you're not spamming at all. When they leave when they leave that information for you, they're saying, hey, I'm giving you my information because I do want to hear from you. So I think, yeah, that's an important point.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you're using their permission, right? And so we'll touch on this thing, right, that happens when you start doing it the fourth and fifth and sixth time, right? And Ms. Benjamin, I see that you're saying that you've heard of these things, but you're not currently using them. You haven't built a list, and you haven't sent newsletters. Awesome. You're in the right place. So here's what we always say. If we get one person who we know for sure is in the right place, then we're happy. You are in the right place. You are our one person. So please stay connected, because I think that this is going to be very valuable for you. What I want to say is that when you're using these automated systems, you're going to really go through it and think, how do I want to set up communication? That first communication, I want you to think about walking into a store like Banana Republic or Gap, somebody that believes in customer service. When you walk in, you're not going to spend 2 minutes in that store before somebody says, hi, how can I help you? Welcome to such and such. We have, our clearance items in the back, and we just produced our new items, and they're in the front of the store. You're not going to spend 2 minutes in those stores before somebody gives you a warm greeting, a smile. If you go to a store like Nordstrom's, you're not going to spend 5 minutes before somebody asks you, do you want them to start a dressing room for you, right? Okay. And so this initial automated contact you're making is that warm, friendly smile that you get when you walk into an establishment in person. That thing that lets people know you're safe here. We want to do business with you, and we actually want to help you, right? And so that's that first email you set up. And then this autoresponder, we'll use Aweber for an example. This system that you rely on allows you to craft, what does that second response look like for the person who actually leaves me their email address. And then in that first email, I've asked them to do something like watch a video. I've called them to action in that first email and that first form of communication, that first newsletter. I've asked them to do something. Well, they did it. Maybe that first thing I asked them to do is watch a video. And of course, I want them to purchase my products. I want them to invest in my service. I want them to take it one level further. They've done this thing. So what does that second email need to look like if I haven't closed the deal, right? Whatever that means for you. But they have done this thing I've asked them to do. They've watched a video, but they didn't close. Well, that means I still need to get in touch with them. So I need to follow up, right? That's the key word here. What does that second follow-up look like? Maybe you're crafting in advance and it says, hey, thanks so much. I'm so glad that you took 10 minutes out of your day. I know you're busy. Thanks so much for watching that video. Well, what I want to introduce you to now is such and such. And so you're going to craft that second response. And hopefully you're getting the way this flows, right? Because then you're going to have a third response and a fourth response. Really, you're going to have something that responds to these people that are opting in and engaging with you every step of the way, but still not closing. Like we said, I think we said it on this one. I know that we said it earlier today on Scope. It usually takes people between 7 and 10 times of actually seeing your content. We call that exposures, for those of you that are not familiar. It takes people 7 to 10 exposures online to actually feel comfortable with you. So here's an example. We have a lot of new people on tonight's session, right? Well, what we know is that for us as team transformation, it might take people 7 times of actually seeing us as a unit, of seeing me, my sister, my mom, seeing us as a unit to say, I know what team transformation is all about. I like those ladies. I know that there's a sister that lives in Manhattan, there's one that lives in Georgia, and there's a mom that's out in the DC area. It's going to take 7 times maybe for people to be able to spit that back, for people to say, you know what, I'm going to recommend that other people get on. Some of you have been very brave and you've recommended already blindly. Much appreciated. But then if there was something that we were trying to actually sell you, right? I want you to buy my phone case. Maybe you need to see us 6 or 7 times before you actually close.
Not only
and
that, Aria, just to add a little tidbit to that, you know, when people see your offer, only 1 out of 100 people will purchase. Only 1 out of 100 people will actually pull their wallet out and purchase from you. So 1 out of 100 people. So you're looking at 1%.
Wow.
So the reason why we're talking about these autoresponders and following up is because you don't want to leave out that other 99 people. So what are you going to do with those 99 people that saw your offer, but for whatever reason, they were not willing at that time to pull out that wallet? And so that's where those 7 to 10 exposures that Aria is talking about come in. You want to make sure that you're able to build a relationship and keep in touch with those other 99 people. And we do that, as Aria is talking about, that's automatically. Right. We do that through a system called an autoresponder. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Absolutely. And
that's a lot of people to leave on the table.
That's like alarming, right? That's alarming, right? And so when you say like 1, I don't think in any goal have I ever said I just want to get 1. That number has never actually been a part of my life. And I would say that most people that are on Blab, and if you've signed on to join this session, the number 1 is probably not a part of your life unless you're saying, I want to be number 1, right? But you don't want just 1 of anything coming back at you. So thank you for providing that number, right? I want that 99 though. 99 sounds good.
That's right.
So let's talk about something that we keep saying. We keep saying you're getting people back to your site. This is maybe for Miss Benjamin, right? You're asking specifically about Facebook. Why not just use a business page? In our last Blab, we actually went into this in detail. So Dejan and I are probably going to bounce back and forth because there's a lot to say about this, but I'm really glad you asked. Let's talk about number 1, Facebook. Definitely, they are working an angle. They know how to work it. And I'm a Facebook fan. And we use Facebook actually to drive business. But we use Facebook to drive people back to a personal site. And more specifically, we use Facebook to drive people back to a blog. Okay? So for us, Facebook is not our home. It's a tool. It's someplace, or it's like this. Some people think that you can live on Facebook. Facebook can be your home instead of just a place you visit. For us, Facebook is a place we visit, but we actually have a home, and that's our blog. Our blog is, like we said before, asideofchange.com. All right. Now, there are ways that Facebook tells us that we can turn it into a business page, and a lot of people are jumping onto it, and that is their only business page. But if we start throwing out something that is pretty common, your page gets hacked, then what do you do with all your business? There's no way that you can call Facebook and say, hey, I have a lot of messages. Is there any way that you can send those back to me? I had a lot of contacts I was starting to build and relationships I was cultivating, but that page got hacked. Can you help me? They are not there to serve you in that way, right? Facebook is not going to assist you with any of those types of complications. So when you have the majority of your business living on someone else's site, you just have to understand that you set yourself up for that level of risk. For us, it's not a risk that we're willing to take. It is a tool, though. So you're saying that makes sense. Facebook has a lot of hacking issues. They do. And I just imagine that those will continue to grow. But there's also some other issues in addition to hacking. Knock on wood, prayerfully, like we've never been hacked, and that's never going to happen to us. But it's happened to a ton of people. So Dejan, well, hold on. Before you say that, let's read the side comment. So Miss Benjamin, you're saying, I've used Facebook religiously and have been lucrative for the most part, but recently pulled away to rethink strategy. Good idea. Reconnect with my why and start providing more value. Most important is getting the audience to your home site.
That's right.
I could not agree with you more. And I think that when you talk about pulling back to examine your why and really recognizing the fact that you've been lucrative, it speaks to this point of Facebook not being something that's dead. You'll get people out here that say Facebook is something of the past, and it's absolutely not. And so people like you should be saying, no, Facebook definitely is the way to go. It's not the way to go, and it's not where you should live. But when you start talking about ways to provide more value, Dejan, I want you to hit on how Facebook limits you in providing value and how having your own blog or site gives you that option to really add maximum value.
All right. So before I jump on that, one thing, speaking of the hacking, The other thing we've seen Facebook do so recently is they switch up their rules on us all the time, right? Again, it's their house.
They do.
That's right.
Without notice. It's their house. Right? And I just see Vicky join. So, hey, Vicky, we see that you're in the room. Or you have to pay to play. Exactly. So they switch up the rules, or you have to pay to play. And so there is definitely, really strong marketing that you can do on Facebook, not knocking that at all, because it's definitely a viable way to get attention to your business or your product or your service or your opportunity. But the moment that they decide to switch up the game on you and you're not prepared to go down that road, you're kind of stuck. So jumping back into, I guess, what you can do through your own personal home, which we're calling your blog or your site. Some of the great ways are you're able to do what Aria talked about earlier. Unless you're doing paid advertisements on Facebook, you're really not able to have people click on buttons and then add them to mailing lists and email automation systems like Aweber or MailChimp and that kind of thing, right? So if you have your blog or your website set up, that person lands on their page and they're met with, a simple form that is saying, hey, we're glad that you're here. We want to, give you, a piece of inspiration every single day that's going to keep you motivated in your skincare business. I'm just throwing out something random. If somebody's met with something like that and they're on your site because they are in a skincare business, let's say, and they want that motivation, they're finding value in what you're going to offer. So they're going to happily give their email address, right? Because they know that they're going to get that value in return. You have a way, like Aria already addressed, of setting up a system where you're able to correspond with them just on autopilot, So you're able to send them out what they've already asked for on autopilot. And again, a platform like Facebook, or if like Twitter is your main home or something, you don't really have that ability to do it unless you are, again, paying for all that advertisement.
Right.
So I guess that's
right. I would
go ahead.
Yeah. Can I add one thing? I would also say that as far as telling your story, right? Facebook does allow you to do that in a way that I think serves Facebook. Hey, Eric, we see that you just joined. Stick with us because we're right in the middle of some really great content, but you are not too late. So stick with us. Thanks for joining. We, on our blog, right, on our sites, we want to be able to embed videos. We want to be able to tell people who are we in the About Us section. We want to be able to really format that site that actually matches our brands, whoever our brand, whatever our brand is. There is a way that is unique. There's something unique about all of us, right? Facebook really speaks to, I think, the masses. And of course, there's some creativity within limits. But when you start talking about a blog, you get to actually do a little bit more storytelling. Something that Dejan and I like to say all the time is that you have to know the platform that you're engaging on, right? People will ask us all the time, do you recommend that I use all forms of social media? And we're like, no, never do that. Pick 2 that you're comfortable with, right? Pick 3. That's kind of a stretch that you really get to know, because there's a community. There are rules within that community. There are best practices. There's all types of things that you want to know. And so you don't want to be mixing those. So let's say Instagram is all about the photo, and all I'm doing here on Blab is like putting up different photos for you guys to see. And I'm like, no, can't you see them flashing? I'm holding up my iPad in front of the screen and you see photos flashing. You'd be like, whoa, she really needs to get on Instagram or something if she loves photos that much. I mean, there's other platforms that serve that purpose. And so when you start talking about actually providing value to your customers, which I guess we should jump right into, a blog or a personal site is the way that you do that, right? That you can't do on Facebook. Facebook is like, I'm going to share a quick story. I'm going to share a quick video. I'm going to share a great quick quote.
In the moment. Kind of in the moment.
But
it's
when
lost,
we talk
right?
about giving, right, exactly. When we talk about giving value, these are some of the things that we'll start to say when we talk about what does that third piece of communication look like on this autoresponder to the people who have opted in? What does the fourth piece of communication look like? What does daily communication look like? So let's again say this. Let's go back to my example that I like to use about the real estate agent. I have a site. You've met me at a party in person. I've given you my card. And we've had a great conversation. And I said, make sure you come out to my site. Well, you're one of those people that I love because you did what I said and you came out to my site. And then on my site, there was a place where I said, hey, check out all of the listings in your area. Just leave me your email address and you have instant access. Well, that was my opt-in. you've left me your email address and I've given you something right away that's valuable to you. There are homes in your area that you can check out right away. And I'm the real estate agent for those homes, right? So let's say that you've gotten to that point. You're looking through, well, I have your email address. So maybe in all of the days following, I'm going to send you my newsletter, or I'm going to send you my blog, or I'm going to send you my newsletter that is actually living on my blog. And what you're going to find when you click there is my latest articles. Those articles are not about like how fabulous I am. They're not bigging me up. They're not telling you about the fact that I'm the best and the brightest real estate agent. They're actually providing you with a different type of value, right? Because me telling you that is me edifying myself, and you don't need that, right? You've already met me, you've formed your own opinion, and you've decided to give me your email address. That means you've bought into me as much as I need you to at this point. What I need to do is something for you, right? I need to give you value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 10, I'm going to maybe have a post on there, and it's talking about the top 10 mistakes that new home owners make, or 5 things to look at.
I was saying, how to prep your home when you're getting ready to, go into the sales process, how to stage your home, things you're going to be interested in hearing about.
Right. I'm going to give you education. What's a short sale? We keep hearing all of this. What is that? How to stage your home for a rental. There's all types of things that I might be giving you in value. And that's the type of thing that you're going to want to read about, right? And it might have nothing to do with making me your real estate agent. What that has to do is that, like, I'm educating you. I'm providing you a place where, number one, I'm sending you stuff so it's right in your inbox. But then you're going to start reading it, and hopefully you'll be coming back because I always provide good stuff. And then you can't get me out of your head. Hopefully this sounds like it's actually like, hopefully that sounds okay. And it doesn't sound creepy, right? But if I'm trying to do business with you, I want you like right here. I don't want you far back. I don't want to be far back in your memory. I want you to be thinking about me first. And the only thing I can do that is only way I can do that is by giving you value. Because you've given me the most important thing, your email address, a way to stay connected.
I was going to say it's that relationship. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's relationship building, right? So you're building with somebody online, just like you would in person. You don't make a friend overnight and, trust them with your house keys. That's a relationship that you build over time through a process and a series of exchanges. And that's exactly what you're doing online with those people. A series of exchanges are going to allow people to trust you. When that person is ready to make that sale, or they're ready to jump into your services, it's going to be a natural choice, right? So
you took the words. Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's all about building that relationship so that you can then gain that trust. Mm-hmm. Just like any other relationship that you would engage in, when you meet somebody at work or at school or wherever you might be, and you continually engage that person, you have conversations with that person, you go out to lunch with that person, you're doing business with that person, you're studying with that person. As you are building that relationship, that trust level is increasing with each time you all are able to get together and connect. And that's exactly what you're doing here. And as Aria said, you want that person to think of you first. So they may not be ready to buy that house today. They may not be ready to buy that house in 2 weeks or 2 months or even 2 years. You can keep in touch with these people as long as you choose to do so. And so you want your name to be the first name that pops up when they're ready to sell a house or buy a home. And so that relationship building and gaining trust is what it's all about.
Right.
And here's the thing, Dejan said
it feels more of like a passive sales approach maybe, rather than, when you're putting posts and things like that on Facebook. Yeah, that's great, because you want people to act right away. But, and certain things are really great for that, but when if you are part of a company and you have a product that somebody may have to think about a little bit, they're maybe not ready to make immediate action. They may need to get to know you a little bit more. If you have a service that you're offering to people, and maybe it is involving like their pets or their children or something like that, it may not be one of those first response type of actions. So again, by your blog, they're actually able to get to know you just over a little bit of time, right?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. And there's no wrong time to add value, right? There's no wrong time to receive or give valuable information. And the cool thing about engaging in an email format and an autoresponder that is connected to your personal blog and not something like Facebook is that, guess what? They have that valuable information sitting in their email, right? And so maybe it's been a really crazy week for them, or a crazy 2 weeks. Maybe it's been a crazy month. But as soon as they get that personal day, or they get a weekend where they can actually comb through their personal email, maybe they've already started to put all of your communication in a folder. And so when they get that time where their kids are not around, when their spouse is not asking them for something, when they have time to sit, they're going to go straight to that folder that they've been collecting, and it's full of your valuable content. So you don't control that end, but you do control how often you send people information and how valuable the information is that you send. And here's the thing I want you to remember is that let's use Facebook. Let's keep using this, because I see that Benjamin is saying it's been valuable for you. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that since it's been valuable, you might have experienced that people have inboxed you before and they've expressed an interest, right? In whatever it is that you're marketing. And I'm sure that not every single person that reaches out to you privately or leaves you a comment actually follows through. You're not able to close that person. But they've expressed a problem or concern, something that they feel you have the answer to. But for whatever reason, they don't close. Well, they kind of get lost, right? And we have to go back to that Facebook message to figure out, well, who is that person? And I see that you're typing something here. I want to read in 1 second. I jump around, so I'm going to finish this thought. What happens when you've gotten them over to your personal blog or your site and onto an email chain, onto an onto a list, is that you get to actually say, hey, I know that problem never went away. If you're still dealing with that, if this is still important for you, hey, I know you expressed that you just had a baby and you're trying to save for college. Well, for 18 years, that college saving plan idea is never going to go away, right? And so let's say that somebody actually had a child that's 2 years old and they say, hey, I know that you can help me build a savings account for college. Well, you actually have an opportunity to keep going back to that person, because they probably still have that same problem. Unless their life circumstances have changed greatly, you have the power of still remaining connected to them. So I just want to hit on that. Dejan, do you want to read that question?
Yeah, Mom.
That just popped up on the side?
Yeah, sure. Let's see, you're saying, and I want to keep that relationship exciting with ongoing substance. After we have completed, after we have completed a logo design project, I want to be able to give more. So developing products, inspirational audio and video as a way to sow into their lives, chasing purpose and not money. And what I do is brand identity,
That's right.
Print media design, and audio branding. And I think, that's great. That's a fantastic use for Facebook, because Facebook does allow you to enter into people's lives and to add value, not necessarily pitching your product or your service, but to be able to talk about, inspirational things, life things, things that people want to see, positive things, so that when they happen to, open their Facebook account, there you are giving them some motivation and giving them things that are positive. So again, you're building that relationship as you're touching people through Facebook. Facebook also allows you, and I'm sure you know, since you're using it all the time, it will allow you to segment groups of people. So you may have certain messages that you want to send out to a group that you have said that you kind of, fenced off. I'm not sure what the Facebook term is, but a group of people that basically that you built a list with. You can send separate messages to separate groups of people. But I do agree with you. I think it's a fantastic way to do really what we're talking about here. The difference is that with these autoresponders, they are just they're just what the name says. They're auto, so they are automated. So with Facebook, you pretty much have to come on every day. And I know there are some tools that you can get with Facebook that kind of automates your Facebook posts. But in general, most people are getting on Facebook each and every time they post. So you're taking time out of your day to do that, which is a beautiful thing. But you may not, I'm sure that you have had days where you might not be able to post as much as you'd like to post. I see.
Right. So I want to say one thing, just moving the conversation in a slightly different direction about Facebook. And then I'm seeing Ms. Benjamin, you're saying your experience has been that there's been very little engagement with automation. And so there is actually some exciting things that we can do with automation that actually make it more engaging, right? And that's our job. And so we have to keep getting better with that and understanding what's available at our fingertips to engage with people, right? And so that's where your call to actions come in. We're not going to dive too much into this because we're not concentrating too much time in this space, but that gives us an idea about what a call to actions look like. And we're going to give you actually about like 7 examples on the end of this session to say, how can you make that more engaging, right? Because there is a way to make that process very personal, but it's all about the work. It's like what you put in is what comes out. Through Facebook, I also want to say that my mom is talking about, I think she's giving props to Facebook in a way that I like to see people do, right? Because we don't want to be Facebook bashers, right? Or maybe they'll all block us tomorrow. Who knows, right? No, we do love Facebook. But what I'd love to, that would be really scary, right? If that happens, I said it, right? If that happens, this is on record. What I'd love to see is that you use Facebook to say, hey guys, just posted a great new blog. Check it out here. Use Facebook for that. Let that go along with a clickable image. And then that's how you never lose the contact with Facebook, but people are clicking on that and it's going back to your content.
Yeah, that's exactly. The best way exactly. Either that or posting quotes, posting videos, 1 or 2 minute videos that are also leading people back to your blog. You post, a short video, right, and then you post that link as well.
Exactly.
So it's always.
Yeah. And then to get those metrics, Facebook has metrics. So the video thing, I'm glad you mentioned that. This is nowhere in our post, but I think that to get credit on Facebook, Dejan, how long does somebody need to like actually view your video for them to say that like you're building like,
I don't know.
Is it 2 minutes? I don't think it's that long.
I think
maybe 30 seconds.
I don't know the exact one, but I'd probably.
So like you're not going to put a 7-minute video on Facebook, but you might put one that's 1.5 minutes, right? And if you can get people to click on it and view it for 30 seconds, what you want to do is actually like build your authority, and that's a separate conversation again. But I'd love to we love to talk to people about how do you do this, right? And how do you do it the right way? So it's not just about doing something, but it's about doing it the right way. Same with autoresponders. It's not just about making an autoresponder,
right,
but making the right autoresponder.
Using that again as that place you visit, as throwing out great little teasers, So I know that you like to build into other people's lives, and for everybody else, you guys can do the same thing and apply it for whatever your business is. It's a great way to kind of dangle bait. It's a great teaser, so maybe you give, 5 tips every single day, but maybe you share the first tip on Facebook, and you say, okay, check out my blog to get the rest of my tips, so again, they're able, it may be somebody that you just met that's a new contact on Facebook where they, kind of know about you, but not really. So by just going to that site, they're like, oh, wow, this is what she's all about. This is what this thing is all about. So again, you're just giving them a little piece of that value just to dangle in front of them. And then they're going back to that other place where you actually own and control to get the real value.
Right, because if like you like that, there's more
even better. And it's
right?
even better.
You like that. Yeah. Let me tell you where you can get
plus
more.
For everybody, I think the real name of the game for everybody that's on there listening. And again, hey Charlene. Oh, Rhea already said that. Okay, so yeah, say it twice.
You can say it twice. We're friendly.
Here at any point, we are open and we kind of will bounce back with you depending on your needs. So jump in and state your situation if you would like to. But the great thing is, let's bring it back to the name of this game, which is online marketing. All right. So even by being on the platforms that we're familiar with, like Facebook or Twitter or whatnot, you're marketing online. It just depends on how effective it is or how much control you have over it if you're keeping it just to those platforms that you don't personally own. The great thing and the fantastic thing about having your blog site that you're actually really working and integrating or recycling content with all of these other social media pieces is that you are going to get people that you're not even connected to whatsoever. So that's the real beauty, is that, on Facebook or all these other sites, you're kind of just reaching out to the people that are in your networks. But through your online site, somebody in China might be Googling, the best weight loss product, how can I see results of weight loss in 30 days? I don't know. They're searching that in. Your content that you control, because it's on a place where you own, is matching up with search terms that person is searching for. And voila, you have a new person that has been added to your email list overnight and you did absolutely nothing.
And bam, you just hit it. You just hit the nail on the head. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to reach out to people that you would never have ordinarily been able to touch.
Right.
Because you're doing that thing, right? That thing called online marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
Even through your massive Facebook connections, right? Because we're all connected to people, you know, that it's like, I know them through somebody who I don't really know, through somebody who I really don't know, right? This is a way to even extend that a little further, because the reach is just that much wider when we can make sure that search engine optimization is something that we understand and know how to use, right? Because then we have like the world at our fingertips.
Anybody,
in that way.
It's okay. It's confusing to a lot of people at first, but just like anything else, once you get into it a little bit and kind of know what game you're playing, you know the rules, you know the basic terminology, you're golden. And so it's really, I would say 2014, 2015 is the world where it's like, if you have any kind of business, if you have any kind of service, if you have anything going on and you're not like hiding your business underneath a rock somewhere, then you're already marketing online. You're already doing something in that space. So we encourage people, and that's kind of what we do on our blog. We always say that we're giving tips and tools to entrepreneurs and people that want to spread their passion. We're showing them how to do it in like a really non-intimidating way, you know? So through formats just like this, conversation.
Well, that's kind of like, I'll take the leather jacket off if it's intimidating.
No.
Do I need to do that? I mean, I'm hoping, you guys, like we said, I built my career in education, which I can only tell you that if you've spent most of your life or a good chunk of your life working in a high school, it means that you can get up and do stand-up comedy for anyone. It doesn't matter if people laugh. You're willing to take the risk. So thank you for laughing. I appreciate it. Let's talk about this really quick, Dejan. This is something that combats this stinking thinking that I'm talking about, right? About thinking that we are irritating people, thinking that we are doing too much and saying, oh, they've obviously moved on. They don't want what I have. Let's remember this idea and recap a little bit as we talk. People reached out to us, right? Because we put the bait out there. We made sure that we understood SEO. We are on the other end of their search engine, right? We're the people that they're looking for. They find us, they come to our site. We've asked them to please leave us their email address because, of course, we're going to give them something valuable in return, like immediate. The example that I gave about like the real estate agent saying, check out a free listing of homes in your area. We've done all of this up until this point. Someone has they've left us their email address. And then we have an opportunity to do that first reach out. We gave the example about like working in Gap, right? Or Banana Republic, walking into the store and somebody says, hey, how can I help you? My name is so-and-so. Or Nordstrom's, hi, looks like your hands are full. Can I start a dressing room for you? So that first message, that first automated reach out did that thing, made people feel comfortable. But we know that, like my mom said, and like I said, it's going to take people 7, 8, 9 exposures maybe to actually close the sale. Right? There's a lot of women on this chat. You never buy the first dress you try on, I bet, right? Unless you're in a real rush. But even at that, you're trying on more than one. And so let's let people warm up to us. We're going to give them a second, a third, a fourth automated email. Those first few might say, hey, I noticed that you didn't click on such and such, or I noticed you didn't open the first email I sent. There's ways to track these things in our list. And so we can put people on a list that did not open our first email, did not open our second, did not open our third. And so we're going to design messages that are automated that actually go to those people for their specific needs. But then for the person that actually did open our first email and listen to our first call of action, they responded, they watched a video we wanted them to watch, but they didn't still close. They need a different type of message, and we can automate that, right? And we can say, hey, I noticed that you watched the video. Thanks so much. It sounds like you understand more. Can I offer you 15 minutes on a phone call with me? This is our opportunity to give people something that they need. And we're going to get into these suggestions in just a minute. But what I want to tell you is a technique that's called the never give up technique. It's something that I might have leaned on a lot just as far as like building my career in education. It's something that I'm sure my mom has leaned on a lot in her staffing agency, and maybe even Dejan as an art director, building sets and getting designs right for major studios like NBC, right? It's the never give up technique. It's, I have something you need and I believe in you and I'm never going to give up on you. And so let's apply that and think about how that might work for somebody who, thanks for typing it, the never give up technique. Somebody who reaches out to us on Facebook, right? Let's say it's the month of October, because it is, right? They reach out to us on October 1st and they say, wow, I see this skincare product that you're selling and this looks pretty amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I have really bad acne and I think this is the product that I need. They reach out to you through a private message like that, right? That's the example. You reach back out and you're like, well, I'm glad you reached out. I think this probably is a product for you. Why don't you learn more by going to my site? And you type that in, right? Because you're doing this by hand still. And you give them your site. They go to your site and they actually read about it. There's something there that they like. You've said, watch my video on such and such and such and such in exchange for your email address. So they've left you your email address, meaning they've opted in. And somewhere along the line, you still never really made the sale. You never connected with them. You never got them the solution to the problem they originally expressed having. Okay? You don't give up on them. And in fact, you tell them you're never going to give up on them. And then you tell them you're going to be committed to following up with them. So what that does is it's not phony, right? It's authentic. I'm never going to give up on you. I remember the original problem that you expressed, and I know that I still have the solution. So I'm never going to give up. I'm going to remember your problem, and I guarantee I'm going to follow up with you. So you let them know, I'm going to follow up with you through you fill in the blank, right? If you're having a phone conversation with somebody or you're meeting somebody in person, you can just keep it really basic and say, hey, I'm going to be calling you next Wednesday because I want to make sure that we're able to like talk about this again and you have 4 days to think about it in between. And so you're letting them know, I'm going to do this thing. And then you're going to give them maybe some reminders on that Monday and Tuesday, like, hey, can't wait to talk to you on Wednesday. Is that time still good? I'm giving you that example, and still that's an old school example. Bringing that to the online form means, hey, I promised that I was going to make sure that I stuck with you until you got rid of that skin condition. Here's such and such, such and such. So you're going to be providing value and reminding them that you are doing what you said you were going to do, and you are remembering that they have a problem that you still have a solution to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we would like to call the never give up technique. And you can apply that really to any area. I'll give an example. Thanks so much for the props. Maybe that means that that's something new, and I hope that is something new for you. There is a massage therapist here in Manhattan, and they specialize in a mobile, Dejan knows them, they specialize in a mobile service, meaning they are qualified, expert massage therapists. They actually will schedule appointments at your job, right? They will schedule appointments at your home. That's pretty amazing. That means you don't have to go anywhere. You call them, they show up, right? They do this. I see some props. Maybe that's for them. Their name is Grace Therapy. So if you're in New York, visiting New York, know somebody, Grace Therapy. They're pretty amazing. But here's what they do that I think is more amazing. They also have a location you can go to if you're not comfortable with anybody coming to your house to give you a massage. But, I have to throw these things
right.
in. Okay, right? So if that sounds creepy and you like to go to an establishment, they have that too, right? You go to them, and what they do is they remind you that you actually need to see them for a certain reason. And they're like, we're going to follow up with you because you were really tense, and we see that you're pretty stressed out. And if you go back to your same job in about a month, you're going to need us again. So they let you know they're going to be following up. And so they'll call you and say, like, hey, have things got any easier? Have things been any easier on your job? They know the answer is no. Right? But they told you when you left the first place feeling all good and relaxed and saying, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do this once a week. You never do that. They tell you we're going to be looking out for you because we don't want you to be walking around tense. We want you to actually, and so they give you that, and they actually build a lot of business that way. And they're not doing that online. That's just their in-person technique. Imagine if you apply that same thing to your online business. And so that's what we call that I'm never going to give up on you. I like knowing that somebody's never going to give up on my stress. That's not going anywhere, right? And so how do we let people know that through our service or our product?
It's great because the person on the other line begins to expect those communications from you. They expect it. Yeah. They expect it. And believe me, there are those who will actually begin to look forward to it. Right. So they're looking out for those emails. They're looking to hear from you.
Because, here's the great thing is unlike unlike doing things that were traditionally taught or that people are traditionally taught to do in, their direct sales company or MLM, when you first join, again, you are taught to go talk about what you do to everybody. Go talk to the people that you know at church. Go talk to, your kids' babysitters and their teachers and give them gifts at Christmas time. And
make a list. You're told to make a list. Make a list of everybody you know.
Make a list of everybody that you know and to keep talking to them. So the failing point comes in. And again, sometimes that list can work. We've all seen success with those lists. But the thing is, you can only...
They dry out. They dry out.
Once or twice. They dry out. Exactly. The lists dry out. So where was I even going with this? Oh my gosh, you totally...
I think what you were saying is this: I'm never going to give up. Means that you have permission. You've been in contact with these people and they're not your personal friends and family. And it takes a little bit of that wall away, right? Because these are people who have actually come to you. Again, I'm going to ask that question. Who initiated the conversation?
No, that's not.
No. You were talking about taking the traditional ways of multi-level marketing and what you're taught, and then turning that tradition into something online. I guess is where you're going.
Okay.
Taking what you're taught, but the thing is, you're taught to kind of talk to everybody, right?
Right.
Okay.
The great thing is, you're no longer having a bullhorn and screaming it and talking to everybody and just see who kind of bites. Now you're actually aligning your content with everybody who's already raising their hand and saying, I want to hear about this. So the people that are searching in search engines and saying, I'm looking for personal development. I want to, find motivation, personal development coaches in Memphis, Tennessee. The person that's looking for that, that's the person that's raising their hand. And when you optimize your content to match them, then you're finding, a connection right there. And so you see how that's different than screaming out the bullhorn to everybody that's in Memphis, Tennessee and seeing who bites.
That's right. Traveling Girl has it perfect. That's it. The list is a launching point. 21st century thinking is building online relationships. That's exactly it. That's right. That's it.
But let's face it. I mean, and I think that online is like a place where we talk about like inclusion, and on an all-inclusive environment, it's online, right? And so what we know is that plenty of people, for whatever reason, and this is not a knock, have problems engaging with people in person. They have problems building relationships with people in person. When you start doing business online, you get to actually become kind of a different person, right? So you should always be authentic, right? But let's say for somebody who is shy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe building those relationships in person is somewhat difficult for whatever reason. When you're doing these things online, you get to actually do them in a different way, and you may find, hey, I'm actually really good at building relationships. Mm-hmm. I'm really good at this type of communication. I'm really good at sharing videos with people in a way that maybe, in person, I'm not the one that is going to pack a conference room full of 100 people. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be able to call, 10 of my friends and ask them to invite 3 of their friends and that they all come through. Not all of us have networks that are built like that. But online, I think, is that place. It is equal opportunity. So get on it while you can. And I think that everyone should know that when you're online, you and your avatar, your personality, I don't know if everybody really understands what I mean when I say you and your avatar.
Maybe break it down.
You're probably better at breaking that down. Avatar. Give a good example.
It's the person that's like you. It's the go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It's the person it's your target audience, the person that is, I don't want to say it doesn't have to necessarily be like you, but who are you talking to? What's their makeup? What's their profile?
Are you?
Think of it like a profiler. What does that person look like?
Right. And where your avatar is that person that might be closest to you, your target audience is that person that you're looking for. And so it might be that you need to think about both of those things, right? But you get an opportunity online that's very unique, because you get to actually craft things in a way that we're just not able to craft in person.
Right? Yes, absolutely. Your avatar is the person that you are marketing to, the person that you have identified that you want to market to. Because marketers say this, and it's so true. If you're marketing to everyone, if you're trying to go out and market to the world, to every single person out there, you're really marketing to no one. You want to market to
Absolutely.
the people that you have identified as your target market, and those are the people that you want to hit. You know, certain buzzwords and certain things that you want to say that you know will be attractive to that market. And you know that whole concept of attraction marketing, that's a whole nother subject, but that's what you're doing when you're marketing to your avatar. That's your audience, the person or people that you have chosen to market to. That's your avatar.
Absolutely.
And it allows you to get specific. Like, you know, if your target market is moms, right? So yeah, that's great as your general target market.
I was thinking that.
Were you? That's a lot of people's target market. But what if you're
talking to single
avatar? Huh?
Right. I know what you're gonna say.
What if your real avatar is? I know what you're gonna say, but if your real target market is maybe moms with children under the age of 5, you know, that may be one. What if your target market is moms as like the larger umbrella, but underneath that umbrella, it's moms that are, you know, interested in creating or making their own organic baby food. You know, I don't know. So those are just.
Or here's one.
Yeah.
If you know, when you think about who you are and how do you find that target audience, what are you really, and I know this is like really kind of like veering off because hopefully everybody here understands like what they're offering. But if you don't, how do you find out what you're passionate about, what you're good at? Maybe you're like our mom and you are the mom to multiples, right? Maybe you actually know what it's like to take care of 2 children who are crying at the same time. They need to be fed at the same time, that maybe have dirty diapers at the same time. Maybe you actually are a master juggler of babies. She is, right? Right?
Well, you have no choice when you're put in that situation. So yes, you become that. Yes. Right. That's true.
So she has an expertise. She has an expertise just based on that, right? And now we're giving her a new suggestion. Don't leave us now, right? She might be starting a new blog tonight. But what if you're her and you're like, no, I have value. I want to give people this value. And so you're thinking of this is how you really start that engagement, right? And you're giving people something that they actually want to hear about. And that means that you've really narrowed it down fine enough to make sure that like the things you have to say, you're speaking to an audience that actually is listening, and they're looking forward to listening. So
exactly.
Why don't we throw out a couple examples of things that you can do on our blog? You can go out and read at asideofchange.com several of these strategies that we've listed in more details. And Dejan, she's going to put the blog post up, the URL up so that you can see that by the end of this lab session. What's that?
Can you see it across the bottom of my square?
Yes.
Oh,
it's
actually,
there.
Okay, I'm like,
right. I'm not
there, right?
It's there.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Sideofchange.com, right? So you can always go there. But so at the end of this blog post, what we said was that we have a few strategy tips. And I'm just going to read it really directly because I have it in front of me. Understanding how you can create value, or understanding how to create value, is equally as important to knowing why you should provide it, right? We've talked a lot about why you should provide it. And now here's the how. Here are 7 valuable follow-ups that you can implement. And so I just want us to like kind of share throwing a few of these ideas out in case you're wondering, well, what maybe could my next 7 be? What types of things should I be providing to people who are on my list? And that's whether they fit into one giant list or you have it actually segmented. And segmenting lists is actually another whole thing that we've talked about in the past. So you should be segmenting your list. But whether you have one giant list or you actually have your list already segmented, here are 7 ideas that you can start sending out. And we're going to catch those comments on the side. I'm going to go ahead and actually take a minute before I list these 7 and make sure I'm not missing your comments. So Traveling Girl saying you're trying to learn this platform. How did you get your URL into your square? Dejan can talk to you about that offline. We can definitely share that with you.
Well,
and let you know. This is one of those communities that definitely yeah, throw it at the end. And then somebody's giving an idea about software. So just honoring.
Did we lose her?
She'll probably refresh in just a second. That happens to her often, so she'll pop back in here and we'll get to these lists. But that's a good point. I'm just going to address the comments. I'm getting the lower thirds in the scrolling text by using CamTwist, which is great if you're a Mac user. And then I hear that ManyCam is for PCs, or I hear that they have a Mac version, but it's really horrible. So yeah, that's how I got it on there. And actually, I'll do a blab on that probably, maybe over the weekend, on how to set it up, because it actually took me a second. But now that I started using it, it's really great. Okay, XSplit for slideshow animation. Cool. I have never used that. So awesome. New things. Have you, Miss Boomy Benjamin, have you used that in Periscope? I mean, in Blab, to kind of do a slideshow presentation to take over your screen? Oh, very cool. Okay. Thank you. And Aria is back. Oh, Colin. Okay, cool. Hey. Oh, cool. Okay. So you're she's using that element to take over her screen. So that's the slideshow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Well, that might get on there. I'm writing that down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, love.
Oh, wow.
I'll be using that maybe on Thursday. Thank you. Good one.
Great. Very good.
All right, Rhea, you're back. You want to go?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you guys could see me or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I could see like pieces of it. Again, hashtag new platform problems, right? Because this is what happens. Sometimes we have to refresh. And so what we were talking about is just like getting into like these 7 ideas of what you can start sending out. So let's go through these 7. I can even run down them really quick. And unless Dejan, you want to jump in, or Mom, you want to jump in and send a few. And so number 1, keep sending reminder emails every 3 days to leads who have not opened your original follow-up email. That's number 1, right? You don't want to start talking about sending the 2nd and the 3rd email unless you know that you're actually getting an open rate that makes sense. And let's say you send it out to 100 people. You want 100 people to open that email. Until they have unsubscribed, you still have that first email you want them to open. And so you want to create through AutoWeber, through an autoresponder or Aweber, you want to make sure that people have an opportunity. You may not send them, actually, you may not design, you may say, I don't want to send them 100 emails, right? But you may say that you're setting the appropriate amount, like whatever you deem appropriate. It might be that you're going to spend the first, they send you their email, they leave you your email address, and of course you're going to give them that initial email asking them to do something. You're going to have a call to action. Well, let's say that you get the data back from Aweber, right? The quick data is there. They never opened it. Well, you want to then send them one the next day saying, hey, we noticed you never opened this email. Okay, let's say they don't open that one. Well, maybe you don't want to keep harassing them every single day, right? Because that would feel like harassment. So maybe you want to like lay low for 2 days or 3 days and say, I'll catch them on a Friday. We have a weekend coming up. I'll schedule it to go back out in 3 days. That gives a buffer, right? And so maybe on that 3rd day, you send them that email again. Hey, we sent you an email a couple days ago. You must be really busy. Whatever your language is, to get them to open it again. And you'll keep really critiquing it so that it's getting late. I'm losing my words. You're going to keep changing that to make sense for the person who is continuously not opening your emails. Then you're going to have other ways to capture other people, and we'll probably hit those in the next 7. So hopefully that first one makes sense. Does it? Okay. So number 2, you're going to send a daily email blast to your list, or your lists if you have them segmented, highlighting your recent blog posts or your video content on YouTube. And this is the thing that reminds them that you're relevant, right? We spoke about this a little bit before. Once a lead begins to read your post and they find that there's value in it for themselves, you've begun to increase your authority. Your leads now have an opportunity and a reason to do business with you or purchase from you. So again, I'm reading like directly from the site right now. If you're one of those people who believes in backing up all of your posts on your blog with videos, which is like an amazing thing to do, and it builds your authority even quicker, right? And allows you to like expose your business and yourself and your service to more people. If you're one of those people that are doing videos, you should be sending your list out. You should be sending updates to your list. Hey, just put out a new video. Bam, it's there. That's like really easy, but you have to let them know when new content is coming their way, right? And then of course they don't take that as like they have to open it right then and there, but they're like, wow, she's really like on the move. She's really always producing content and she never leaves me out of it. She lets me know every time she has something new, or he. So the third one is you're going to invite your list to participate in weekly webinars or special online events. So some of you are on here and you're saying, hey, Sherry, I don't know if anybody said hi to you. It's really good to see you on here. I just wanted to tell you that I saw your props coming up. But what I want to say is that when you are hosting special events, that's a really good way to bring people back into the fold. Some of you are saying, well, I've done that, right? I've sent that initial email out to people. I've sent the second and the third email saying, hey, we noticed you didn't open that email and that's not working. Well, there's nothing like a really good sale at DSW to get me in there. I've been there a million times. I think I know what they have, but if they send me an email saying that they have some really special things on clearance, I might just find my way back into the store, right? If Mac is saying, I know you've been here a million times, that we just have this new collection and Rihanna came out with a new lipstick, I might be in there to check out the new lipstick. And so you never know. If they say, join us to do a special, let's say,
you might do a webinar. Know, Dejan, maybe it's a webinar on like how to choose the best shade for your skin tone, or any kind of how-to, any kind of thing that you want to be interactive. Maybe it's something just like this Blab session. It's in our list.
Yeah. If you get invited to something like that, that's a way to bring people back in the fold that might have been lost through like, okay, they don't want to check out your daily blogs, or you don't know that they actually don't have the time. They have no reading time. They have no listening time, but maybe for a special event, they'll make the time. So you want to invite them to those things, which means you have to be in the regular habit of holding these things. All right. And so you have to decide what you're comfortable with. The cool thing is you can do that all online. You can host parties on Twitter. You can host parties on Blab. If you have an actual product to show people, why can't you show a product on a format like this? We can all see each other. I could see a product if you were holding it up, right? And so you can turn that into anything you want it to be.
And on Facebook as well. And I'm saying that for Ms. Benjamin. You can hold those parties on Facebook also.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great way to pull all those people that you've pulled from online that you don't know. That's a great way to get them connected to you now on Facebook. So You're kind of like reverse recycling it.
That's right.
Absolutely. And so the fourth tip or idea is that you can communicate to your leads that there is a real person, right? That's something that we talk about so much. There's a real person behind all of this communication. And so you have to let them know there's a real person behind the email.
Yeah.
And you do that by inviting them to spend 10 or 15 minutes with you on the phone. Again, this is not something you have to do. Maybe your business, Ms. Benjamin, you said you've seen a lot of success. You might be at a place where your business is booming so much, you're like, I actually don't have the time to talk to anybody. That's fine, right? Or even on Blab, right? You can definitely do it. Invite them to talk to you and know the person behind the emails. Maybe they're ignoring them because they actually think that it is something very automated. Maybe they're ignoring them because they really haven't gotten a chance to know you and warm up to you. They haven't opened your email, so they haven't had those 7 to 10 exposures that we're talking about. Give them something that is lasting and something that counts. Something that I'm not sure if you guys are using is something called Time Trade. It's an automated calendar. So send that out in one of your emails and say, sign up for 15 minutes with me on Blab or on the phone. That way they're scheduling with you like you'd schedule any other appointment in your life. And it takes, I think, a lot of like the complication out of it. They just schedule and they see when you're free, and then you know when you can call them or when they should be calling you. I'd say preferably you should call them. And so on the side, I'm reading some of the
I think Trav's point is awesome. Authenticity and a real relationship. And that's exactly what it is, because you want those people to know that you're real. You're a real person just like they are. No different. And they need to know that. And, you know, all of that just goes back to that relationship building, right? Relationship building, so that people get to know you authentically. They know that you are real. You're not just this email that shows up in their box, that they actually can have a chance to see you live, you know, really, you know, kind of see you move around. You know, you're real. You really are real. So, Trav, that's an awesome point.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then what's the thing that holds people back? I'm sorry, the thing that holds people back sometimes from making that, from closing with you, is that they just have a few other questions, right? There are plenty of times that I can do things online with companies that I do business with, from either, like, you know, I don't know, the electric company to the, I don't know, even like with my paying my cell phone bill or changing my features. There's all of that I can do online, but sometimes I actually want to get a live person and I want to talk to somebody, and that might be the thing that's holding me back. That might be the thing that holds me back from, like, actually changing my cable package up or down, right? Give me an opportunity. So if you're not offering that to people, maybe that's why they're not closing. So give that to them. So if we move on, Deshawn, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I just wanted to say hey to Travis, because I just realized that it just like kind of hit me, and, you know, I made the connection. So I'm glad that you actually found us on Periscope. So we know that we had a great time meeting you in Orlando or in Vegas. When was Vegas? Back in August.
That was, 3 months ago.
Yes, we met in Vegas.
Wait,
and so Travis is amazing at pretty much everything. And so if anybody is debating whether they should blog and how to market online and do all that stuff, he is definitely a person that can say, yes, you should. And it's definitely a way to build your business. So I just want to say, shout out to Travis. And if you're not following him, then you should. So hit the button and make sure you're following him.
And he is an expert. He is an expert. Awesome. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
So thank you.
So hopefully we'll see you in Orlando. That's like a whole nother story, right? Very cool. Very cool. So you guys, let's move into another tip, right? We have a few others left after talking about time trade. What you can do for people to provide them value, right? Because a lot of times we're stuck. We're like, I need to send these emails out, and I think I used my 3 things that I thought were valuable. I already use those, and now I can think about providing value. Provide a printable PDF that people can use, right? With information that's specific to the needs that they've already communicated to you. This is where, when you're segmenting your list, it actually matters. Really quick.
Can you refresh? Because we lost your visual, but we see your audio, and now we lost you altogether. She's jumping back on. She knows the deal. So
yeah,
here she is.
All right.
I'm too quick.
A New York connection.
I'm too quick. Right? I never stay offline too long. So where I left off was, thanks for the props, you want to make sure that you're not getting stuck, right? Because you know you have value to offer, and you know that you can think of great ideas, and somehow we just get stuck. And so here's another idea. Create a usable PDF. You have hopefully segmented your list, and so you know the people that are opting in, the people that you're communicating with. You know where they stand. You know what their needs are. You know what it is that you can send them that's going to be valuable. And so consider creating a PDF that's clickable, of course, something you can track, that they can use, they can download, and you can send them a message that says, download this form to fill in the blanks. And maybe that form is something that, and again, I'm reading from our site, asideofchange.com, is it's very information specific, again, to their needs, but maybe it's a how-to guide, something that they might be able to post, great inspiration for your home office or something like that. And it does talking to them, right, more than anything. Or maybe you've created a fillable form. Me, as someone who has spent so many years as an educator with high school students, I probably want that form to be something that's more fillable with fill in the blanks. I want it to look like a worksheet or a graphic organizer. Those things really work for adults also, just as much as they work for 7th graders. I want to turn one of those PDFs into a brainstorming session for adults. How can I get adults to start filling in and dreaming on paper? How can I allow them to create more of a dream board? I can create that clickable PDF, something they can download and use with themselves, with their team, to motivate them. And so if I offer them something like that, that's a new form of value. So that's one way to get them to click and stay connected with you. Someone actually on a recent session was talking to us a lot about this. So I want to mention it. I think somebody actually mentioned it here. Ms. Benjamin, you said something about audios. And so what we've included as the 6th tip is to invite your leads to download audios that keep them focused and inspired. All right. Those audios may be something that you've created. It may also be something that someone has given you permission to use. I mean, clearly you don't want to use audios and things that people haven't given you permission to use. But if you have that license, if you have that permission, if that comes as a tool, as a part of your business for any reason, use that and say, hey, I found something that might motivate you on your Monday. And it might be as simple as that. And it's something easy for someone to click on their way to work.
Yet, if you haven't found somebody else's, make your own. That's the best. If you're people content, make your own audio. You can, if you don't like the way that you sound, on video, or you don't like the sound of your voice on audio, outsource it. You can go to a place like Fiverr and get somebody to, complete your audio for you and have it back to you like in 24 hours. So
for $5. For $5.
$5. So you produce the text and let somebody else record the audio, and then you have something to go out to people. So it works for me.
I love it. And Miss Benjamin, just on the sidebar, is saying vision board or party on Blab. I love that idea. That's really good. So how awesome would that be? I'm really into that. You play music, do vision boards, you talk through it. It'd be almost like, has anybody done like a cycling class, a spin class, where you have an instructor in the front and they're like really like walking you through it, and they're like, we're in a hilly they're like walking you through the whole experience. That would be something you could do like online, right, on a Blab session, but you're walking people through that dream boarding session. Very cool. Good idea. Also, you're saying that you produce original music. So somebody that has a skill set like you, I mean, I guess the sky's the limit. I don't
really quick, just awesome. For Ben Tate and for everybody else, we're going to open up the hot seat at the end. So if anybody, has a quick question or whatnot, we will open it up. Rhea will set the timer on that. So that's the only reason I'm not opening it up right now. But Ben wants to jump on. So you'll be first in line, and whoever else wants to jump on and address their needs or shout out your specific business or concern, the seat is yours. So,
yeah.
So here's the last tip before we open that up is that, really think about the resources that your business, if you are a part of, let's say, a direct selling company, an MLM, think about the resources that are already available to you. Sometimes this is the most obvious thing, but we're all like kind of like searching to be so innovative that we forget that there are always things available to us. Our mom, what does she always say?
That's right.
Never reinvent.
That's right. There's no need.
Okay, right. Okay, so you guys know I'm not lying. So, right.
No. I was just going to expound on that. There is never a need.
There's no need to.
There's never a need to reinvent the wheel. 99% of the time, whatever you're thinking of has already been thought of, and it's already been. It has already been done. You can take that wheel and you can twist it. You can do something a little bit different to it, so that it doesn't look like the same old wheel. But there's no need to always feel like you've got to go and recreate the wheel. And so just don't do it. Reach down in that bag and pick something out that's already been done. Yeah.
So what does that look like if you are saying, I'm not going to reinvent the wheels and I want to make sure that I am prepared to send out value through my autoresponders? So what if someone in your organization is doing an awesome Tuesday night conference call, and it's all about getting your mind in the right place and pumping you up, and it's very
motivating,
energy related. It's very emotionally right. It's motivating. What if someone on your team is opening up a call like that? Why not send an autoresponder that says, get on a call Tuesday night that's going to change the way you look at the rest of the week. Get on a call on Tuesday night that's going to make you feel like it's Friday, right? There's all types of things that you can say, and so think about leading on people who are already doing things. And let's say that you are unsure if people are open to the idea of you inviting. Maybe people have like a closed group going on, but it's fabulous. There is nothing wrong with you. Again, I'm going to say you have to ask for what you want in business and in life, or you're never going to get it. So what if you said, I really like what you're doing. I have listened. It's inspired me, but I have so many people that I think would be blessed by this phone call that you're doing, or this fill in the blank that you're doing. Would it be okay if I invite people? What's wrong with you asking? Most people will say, absolutely. It takes nothing away from them. And so think about ways that you can do that. And there may be other areas in your life where these things are happening that are motivating, they're awesome, that are inspirational, that you want to invite people to. So think about how you can bridge that gap. And those are my 7. I think we're ready to open the hot seat if you guys are okay with that.
Absolutely open the hot seat up. I just want to say just one other thing, just as food for thought. When you think about other people and you put yourself in their seat and in their chair, can you kind of, envision how many people are sitting out there, they're on their computers, but they don't really have a lot of relationships. When I said earlier that there are people who will actually look forward to getting your emails, it's no different than the old-fashioned way when you would go walk to the mailbox and you have an invitation in the mailbox, an actual paper invitation, right, that we don't get that often. Yeah. But there are people who will get excited because you've invited them to something. They're like, oh, wow, I'm special. And people like to feel special. And so part of that relationship building and getting to know people, again, is no different than you will do face to face, but you want people to feel special. So you want to invite them to things. You want to give them gifts. And so you're giving them PDFs, you're giving them video, you're allowing them to get to know you, you're allowing them to know that you are a real person as well. So there are people that are at home and they thrive off of that. And you might be the only person in 6 months that's ever invited them to anything and so for a lot of people, that could be the thing that makes their day. And so you will find that the more you do that and the larger your list grows, the more people, will tag on to you. And eventually those people will be the people that will engage with you and eventually buy from you your products and your services, and we can't ever forget that is a big piece of our goal, right? Is to make sure that we are actually making those sales. And I'm gonna just close with this. I have an uncle, and Dejan, you'll probably know, who says all the time, and when we talk about these autoresponders and sending them out, every day or every 3 days or however often you choose to do that. But if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. My uncle always says, you don't want to be the one who is a day late and $1 short. And that is so real when we talk about marketing.
That says that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. But you definitely don't want to be that person. And you look up and you approach somebody and their response is, oh, wow, somebody just told me about that yesterday and I acted. So you're a day late and $1 short just because you didn't take that action as fast as you should have and could have, or maybe you didn't send out that 12th autoresponder, so I want to end with that, but that's,
thank you. That was actually really great because I haven't thought about that perspective actually in a while myself. And, you're right. It's that connection. You never know when somebody is going to feel honored or happy to get that invitation from you. And again, it's in a genuine way. If you're doing it in a genuine spirit, then it's not going to be fake, right?
Exactly. That's right. Absolutely right. That's right.
All right. You guys ready to open up the hot seat? I'm going to let Ben Tate jump in. All right. So he is coming on. Go ahead and read with us. So
I would like to say that you guys are doing a good job on what you're talking about.
Thank you.
And
that's so nice.
I'm all the way from England. A couple of my friends are watching you guys as well.
Awesome. That's awesome. Great.
So yeah, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm. Ben Tate, are you in the world of online marketing or direct sales, or do you have a service or a product or something that you're getting?
I sell songs and stuff. I make music.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
so So Benjamin, are you using this method of responders right now? Have you built a list, or is this rather?
It's
great?
Right.
Right. I'm not sure I caught the end of what you said.
I think
we lost him. We lost him.
You guys, I kind of like lost a little bit. I kind of like went out.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep it rolling. Latie Boyd is jumping in. Ben Tate, we lost you for a second, but as the rotation goes back around, feel free to swing back around into the hot seat. So I just want to keep the hot seat jumpers going.
Great.
Whatever that is, hot seat jumpers. That's what you are now.
Right.
We make up things all the time.
But they know what we're saying. It all makes sense.
So Latie Boyd is, oh, thank you, Ben Tate. I appreciate that. He said, I just wanted to say that you guys are adorable and he makes music. Awesome.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
We wish you tons of success with marketing your music and getting it out there. You know, artists unite. So I think that's great that you're doing something that you're passionate about. So good job.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm going to keep it moving. I think that maybe we had problems connecting, but Dr. Tom Grant is going to jump in.
Hi, ladies. How you doing tonight?
We're
good. How are you?
You ladies are awesome. Do you know what I love is that you are talking about selling through authenticity and service. I think that is so very valuable. That
yes.
You know, it's like selling without selling. It's selling by serving. It's selling by saying, I passionately believe in this. What I'm offering has value. I think it's going to be being able from that place that is truly valuable for folks. And so I love it. How you're allowing a dialogue to happen, how you're inviting people in. So I just wanted to give you a real word of encouragement. You're doing a great job. Just keep pressing on.
Thank you so much. That's so great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll jump off the seat and let someone else in too.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
See the connections that you make on Blab and Periscope? It's kind of crazy, but we really enjoyed it. So anybody that has something in, go ahead and try again if you couldn't quite get back on with us. So Latie, please jump in. You're more than welcome. I know you were trying for a while. Thank you, Ben Tate. That was awesome. And
Dr. Coran.
Tom, thank you so much. We appreciate your comments. Much appreciated. It's always good to get words of encouragement, right? So we definitely accept that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, somebody jumped in and they jumped back out. Can you guys see when somebody else jumps in on your end? Rhea?
One of the things I'll say, can you guys hear me?
Okay, no, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry.
I can't.
Traveling girl stumbled in. Okay.
Dejan, Mom, can you see or hear me?
Yes, I can. You're back.
Okay, I've been going in and out, so I didn't know if you guys had seen me go in and out.
You still are. Yeah, you still are. You're gone. No, you're back.
We can hear you, but all right. So Latie Boyd's going to try it one more time. Let's see if it works. And Aria is back with us also. So Ria's back, and let's see if we can get Latie on here.
Hashtag new platform problems.
Yes. Hashtag beta.
Totally.
Maybe there's an algorithm or something. We say that a certain amount of times, like I don't know.
Like Dorothy, there's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Yeah.
Beta.
Oh man.
Latie Boyd, we really want to hear from you. And for some reason this is not. Can I get
there you go.
I'm still giving you props because you're trying.
Also, Miss Boomy Benjamin is saying it's time for her to walk her pooch. Have a great evening, ladies. I want to know more about your Orlando trip. Oh, don't worry. We'll be casting and blabbing and periscoping live the entire time. So you'll be keep me posted on the vision board party.
And Deb,
I will. Make sure you guys check out our blog at asideofchange.com if you're running out of here. For anybody that wants to start their autoresponder system like immediately, I'm going to make a video tonight because for everybody that knows me, they know that I actually don't sleep ever. I kind of have insomnia. So I'm going to actually make a video tonight and I'm going to lay out 10 autoresponders that you guys can start out with right away. So there's no reason to wait. It's really easy to learn. You just got to connect with the right people and the right tools. So
Destiny, I'm not sure whether we lost Destiny or not, but she said we brought her motivation. This is her first time being on Blab. So I hope you're still, I hope you're still on. So that's great. So glad we were able to provide that for you. That's good. Charlene.
I just really am grateful for this conversation. I've been in direct sales since I was in college in my 20s. Took a long break and coming back. So I'm just trying to find new, fresh ways to communicate with not only my own organization, but to do some more recruiting. So this has been really fun. Thank you so much for doing this. I'll keep following you all.
Great. That's fantastic. That's good.
Yeah,
that is good. And I'm glad that you come back into the world of network marketing. That's great. You probably have a lot of experience and a lot of value to bring. So,
I took 16 years off and got paid every month. So it really does work if you set the foundations right.
Yeah.
Just that I have a 30-year-old business. So I am now kind of looking for the new generation to kind of do what I did in my 20s. So it's been fun. And I know that this platform, that's kind of why I'm poking around, because this is how I intend to do a lot of my coaching.
Yes.
So it's been really fun.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Did you just say you took 16 years off and you continue to get monthly
that residual income? That's awesome.
So I can only imagine, what would it look like for you to even, we haven't even touched on this Blab, but stay connected with us at asideofchange.com. But what I'm seeing is what does an ebook look like for her? What does a blog look like? How I took 16 years off of a business and still got paid.
There you go.
That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah,
right.
And so I know that there's a lot of people who think that this industry doesn't work, but if you set it up properly and you are not the star, because that's the real key.
There you go. Yeah,
that's right.
People get enamored with being the star of the movie, and then they don't empower their team to really be strong. And I never did that because I got in to be free to do what I wanted to do. So we did what we wanted to do, and I took 16 years off. And honestly, it doesn't happen for everybody, and it's not like top dollar for a lot of people, but it was for me. And we never went below $20,000 in those 16 years every month. So it does work if you set the stage right. So I think, I've been back about 3 years. I decided to come back. My company did some changes, and I decided, I'm ready to jump back in. But I don't want to do when I mentioned a comment about 21st century thinking, I think it's important that what used to work, I was surprised when I dipped my fingers back into this industry again, how much people were still talking about the same things. And when I tried those, it just doesn't work. So I think it's the time to look for fresh ideas in a way that makes sense to people, but the model works. And I think that's the real key, is that the model works, and I'm looking to set it up for the next 30 years. So,
there you go.
Yeah, so that's right. Fun. Thank you. I hope to connect with you guys more. And are you?
We want to stay connected with you because this goes two ways, right? And so the student is the teacher. The student.
We're losing her a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
And Change Factory,
we have a lot to learn from
I don't know what your name is. Is it?
Oh, okay. Over here in the corner, I'm the Change Factory at Butterflies Do It. That's kind of like the place that we all kind of connect. We each have our own identities, but the three of us connect at a Change Factory. And we say, butterflies are the result of this process, this transformation. And we believe that it's totally never too late to pick up and do something different, to make a change, in the right direction. So,
well, you all are beautiful, not only on the outside, but truly from the inside, which is more important. So I'm glad to connect. And it looks like you're from DC, so am I. So let's connect.
Where are you? Yes, absolutely. She's from DC. Good. Yes, we definitely will connect. We'll connect for sure. Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention also that Travis is saying to you, Charlene, that you have an awesome positioning testament, and you do.
Yes.
You do. That experience is so valuable. I love it. I love it. You have a lot to bring to people, so that's awesome. I'm thrilled that you connected with us. That's great.
Definitely. All right, who else wants to jump in? Destiny wanted to jump in, and I'm not sure who else was on the list, but it's open. We're still here.
Oh, Destiny's still here. Good.
Resume workshop. Hey, welcome to the group. We're just kind of wrapping it up and, getting people to jump into the hot seat if they have questions or comments. But we're glad that you're here. All right.
And let's take a side note just to slow down. We are having problems because I think there's 4 people on the seat. We don't usually have 4 people at once, right?
Actually,
but there's a little lag.
Trying to jump in, and she was on our very first Blab, and she was actually our very first person ever in the hot seat. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
jumps in and is saying hey. So she's having trouble getting on also, though. I don't know.
Wow.
There's a lot to learn in this room. There's some really interesting people. So I'm really glad that we were able to make this connection. And hopefully people in the room are actually connecting and networking with each other. So, you never know who's going to be your next resource in business or your next customer or so. Stupid people's profiles.
Never.
Follow them online.
Oh, yeah.
So while we're waiting for people to...
we're losing
While
you.
we're waiting for people
That's
to
all.
jump on, can I say something kind of funny?
We were losing you. That's all.
Yeah, you're good.
You are now.
Oh, am I back on? Okay. No, I was just looking at our props count. I'm not a props counter. Trust me, I know this is not a popular contest, right? But when we open, I don't know if you caught this, but we have some people that have
Can you hear me now?
Equal amount of props. And I just, Dejan, that happened.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay. Well,
We got you.
all right. See, I'm in between. I've got this microphone.
Wow.
Yes. And and a mic on my webcam. And if I jump between them, somehow I authorized one, but I was using the other, and you couldn't hear me. But what I wanted real quick to tell Charlene, I think it was the last lady that was on.
Right.
And this is going to sound odd, but it actually isn't.
Okay.
There's an episode in Star Trek called The Wrath of Khan. And Khan has been in hibernation for 200 years. And he comes back and he says, I'm going to love this century.
Wow.
Because man has not changed, only his tools. Yes. So
that's it.
What she was saying, the concepts still work, but now she has to work on the tools, because people were the same 50 years ago, or as my mother used to say, and I'm sure you can relate to this. There's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
Man has not changed.
That's right.
Only his tools. And that's what I really loved about your Blab tonight, is that you're giving people other tools, new tools. Okay. So I was sort of making my rounds, and you guys know if I run into you, I'm going to stop in.
Thank you.
Good.
I just wrote your quote down. Man has not changed, only his tools.
A man has not changed, only his tools. Okay? All right.
That is so true. That's a good nugget. That's a great nugget.
Oh, I always go back to that. Like I said, Star Trek, Wrath of Khan.
Love it. Love it. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's an awesome one to remember.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it.
I'm not sure who I told on here, but do you know the average attention span is only like 9 seconds long? I think I told this to Miss Benjamin, because she was saying that people were having a lot of success with videos. And it's like, yeah, you know, video is real time. People are connecting just like this. So if people only have a 9-second attention span, you have to hit them with something pretty quick, right? So.
Oh yeah, you do. You've got to make impact as quickly as you can so that you can grab their attention and hold it.
Yeah.
So important. It is. Yeah. Man has not changed, only his tools. Love it.
And then Traveling Girl saying attention span is only slow until you build rapport, then all bets are off. So there you go. I mean, yeah, of course. So you got to get them in the door first, right? And then you have that connection.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome tips, guys.
That's great. Very good.
I know if Aria was actually in the room and if she could speak, she's usually our timekeeper. We had a great block tonight. You know, we went over 2 hours. So we started at 9 and it is 11:17, which is kind of like a record for us. So I'm going to give like the last 2-minute plug. If anybody else wants to jump in, last 2 minutes, you can close us out, or we like to talk, so we could definitely close it out. But if anybody wants to jump in, here's your chance. And then we're going to say good night to everybody and just say good luck, you know, extending your business and opening up to people online, using those tools that are available to you, and hopefully you capitalize on the power of autoresponders. So if anybody else wants to jump in, now's your chance. If not, I will let Aria give her final statement. Aria? I don't think she can hear me. She's very still.
No, she's frozen.
All right, so look.
I didn't know if you could see me or not.
Oh.
We just lost her again.
Or hear you.
She tried.
That's okay. Are you there? Can we see you? Can you say something?
Yes. Can you hear me and can you see me?
Last sentence. Close us out. We can see you and hear you.
I'm going to close you out with our blog. Please go to asideofchange.com. Dejan's going to type it in.
It's underneath.
We want to stay connected with you. This has been an awesome 2 hours. The best Tuesday night that I ever could have had. This has been incredibly uplifting, inspiring. I am so ready to like take a quick nap, which is me going to bed and then waking up just to do it all over again tomorrow and reconnecting with you guys.
Well, you know what? I think we lost her again. She's frozen and she's not speaking, but I think Aria's saying that this was, she's coming back? No, okay. No, we lost her. But I think what Aria's saying is that she had a fantastic time, as I did as well, and I'm sure I can speak for Dejan also. This has been a fantastic Tuesday night, and you know, we hope and pray that we have given you all a lot of value, and you know, the messages that were popping up on the side, and for those of you who took the hot seat, you all gave value as well. And there is nothing better than networking, and networking with good people who are like-minded and who all have something to say and to give. And it has absolutely been fantastic. So definitely go to asideofchange.com, and there you will find, well, Dejan, you know, I'll let you kind of talk about, you know, what's there, but you'll find a lot of content, a lot of the things that we talked about tonight, so that you can, you know, maybe not miss anything that we may have said before you jumped on. So Dejan, you can take it from here.
Like how we're like passing this around. We do this a lot. All right, so this is the last and final one. So I pretty much said everything. There's just other great content. I told you what we do. We're all about helping entrepreneurs really succeed. We're all about helping people live their passions and do it in a way that it makes sense, and do it in, you know, a smart way. So if you're interested in learning about new tools and techniques that maybe you didn't know about yesterday, jump onto our blog, see what's there, and see what maybe works for you. If you're new and you're just checking things out, leave a comment, say, hey, met you on Blab, just wanted to say hello. We appreciate those also. And again, I promised everybody that I'm going to be making a video tonight. So whoever goes on and actually subscribes tonight, you'll get an email from me tomorrow morning, and it'll have a video listing 10 topics or 10 formats that you can use to reach out to people literally starting tomorrow when you build your email campaigns. So we look forward to hooking up with you guys in the future. And that's it.
Bye. I'm sorry for going in and out, but I've loved this session.
Yes,
thank you guys so much. I'm gonna shed a tear. This type of connection problem shouldn't happen in Manhattan. I'm not sure what happened.
Travis said that you were so quick. No, Travis said that the power of your message was so strong that it just slowed the webcam down. That's what it was.
There you go. I was going to say,
run with that.
Run with that. Absolutely, run with that. Yes. So everybody, take care. Happy marketing, and we will see you on the site of change.com.
We'll see you. And Thursday night for another session.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.